afternoon. Next thing on the cards is doing a bit of knife sharpening. This is just a cheapie knife from IKEA. I've had it for like 10 years. I mean, when it's sharp, it's really good, but the sharpness doesn't stay. You just bump it around in the sink when you're washing it, and off she goes. But I get about 6 months out of it. And this is a Wüsthof. These are a really good set of knives, but you can see if I go like that, and if you concentrate on the edge there, it's got a couple of nicks out of it. You can see it doesn't reflect the light as well as it should. So I didn't bring any paper in with me, but I tried it and it just doesn't want to cut. Sharpen this one lasts about a year, but I do touch them up all about every 6 months or so. So I've already done this one and it's not too bad. You can kind of see it. It's pretty good. This side's actually worse. Got a big bump there. So I'm just going to touch them up because they're starting to have to put too much pressure. This is the knife sharpening kit I got stones, but I find it really hard to get a consistent edge with a stone. I've also got one of those, it's like a pocket thing, you fold it out and it's got like prongs like that, and you just run the knife in. They're okay for a quick touch up, but I found I don't know what it does, but it just doesn't last very long. This is the thing that lasts the longest, so I'll show you how to set this up. Like I said, I only use it once every 6 months, so it's not something that I remember all the time, but I know the idea. So one modification I made was grind that little flat on there, because this used to come out all the time, so that way that locks in like that. That goes in there. So if you undo that, yep, like that, and then get it as tight as you can using that wing nut. This might be a bit annoying. Just go like that, that'll do. Then, so I think that's a stopper for the bottom. Then that goes on that one. That and that. So this is your sharpener bit. I don't think you use that, and you can, that we need to adjust that. I've got a digital level, and I've got some shims, because you do need shims. Bear with us while I try and, that didn't last long. So you got to kind of choose your battle here. 1000 grit, probably a bit too soft. 600, 400. I might just give it a real quick going over on 400 and not press very much. 240 is if you've never done your knives before and they're a crap, well, not a crap knife, but they're really buggered. I'd use a 240, then a 400, but you'd have to go really, not hard, but you'd probably have to do it for a long time on the 400. But I'm going to give it a real quick one. I'm not going to use 3000 because I'm not that crazy about knives. So yeah, 1000. So I'll go 400, 600, and 1000. And then these ones are like if you really want to go. Well, that's leather. I don't even know what that one is, but they're really fine. You use those ones after you've used all. Yeah, see, I don't know what that is, and that's a 3000. So if you go 3000, then that one, and then you start getting into these ones, and then finish it off with leather. That's mirror finish, Japanese style. Whatever. I'm not interested. So this is loose. So you've got this little tool to undo all that. I think that's actually upside down at the moment. No, it's not. That way. So we'll do the cheapy one first. So you put that in, tightened it down yet, like that and like that. So you want to be halfway and halfway on your knife, because that way when you work your angle, you're kind of in the middle. If you go like that, then obviously you're only off center a little bit, and then when you're all the way over here, it's getting too hard. So it starts bottoming out and doing all sorts of stupid stuff. So yeah, try and get it even like that. So I just lay it on there. So that's close enough. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to measure it, but just eyeball it and then tighten her up. Doesn't have to be super tight because it's got 3 and it's not gonna. That one needs to be a bit tighter. Just nip them up. But yeah, you're not gonna be hanging off it like I just did anyway. It's only just to stop it from falling out. That's it. Probably another tip I should have said as well is you want to get your blade parallel with that. So the blade here parallel with that, not on an angle, because otherwise your angle's changing. So yeah, you want to get that pretty square as well, like that. Obviously the knife's rounded, so you know you can't do it perfect, but you don't want it too much on the piss. And then I think 18 degrees, so 0 being that, so 0 degrees being flat tack, as if this was flat. Lift it, you come across 18 degrees, which is, I think, Japanese, or whatever they call it, whatever the Japanese use, is about 18 degrees. It's a fairly narrow V you're going to have in your knife, which is cool because it's sharper, but it's not very durable, and you're going to be sharpening it all the time. So I normally set mine to 23. I think that's the next degree that people use. And to do that, what you want to do, that's magnetic, so you kind of want to sit this on your knife blade. But what you do, hang on, I've got to remember this. So you can't set it to 0 there, because that's not 0 here. It's on this angle. So you want to set it to 0 here. So I think you hit reference. So that's your new 0. And then you put that on your blade, like that. And see, that's 24 degrees. So I've got it pretty close there. So that's not magnetic, which is a bit of a pain. So you just loosen that and drop it down to 23ish, like that. Good enough. So that's fine. So I got 22.8. That's fine. And then just nip it over, and this is where you have to do the shimming. So you're 3 degrees out. So it's only 20. So that means it is a bit lower on this side, I think. So this is the bit that takes the time, and they don't really explain it to you either. So we want to slip this underneath, I think it is. So we don't want the knife to move because we've set that up nice. So I'm just holding it with my thumb. And you just want to loosen it because now you're going to be putting that shim in. Once you get this sorted, it's a lot easier. So shim it, hold it, square it up. Ooh. And that's why you don't have to do this super tight just yet, because you're going to be doing this a couple times, and I can't even remember if that was the way I needed to do it. So like that. Now we'll see. So this should be, yep, so that might have gone halfway, so we'll just lift it up. Hopefully you can read it. Try and get it a bit closer, just so we're working in round numbers. Oh, it's really sensitive. That'll do. We'll call that 23. Oh, nah, see, that's... That's better. Okay. 20, well, that's bang on 23. Okay. Do that, switch her over. And if you're within a... There you go. Perfect. 22.9, and I think that's exactly what it was on this side. $22.4. I'm not going to whinge about that, so that'll turn. Oh, I can probably turn that off actually. That was the quickest. It's, yeah, one adjustment. That was cool. So now we know that's good. So just nip them up, because we don't want that to move. and now we know we're getting that that 23 degrees on both sides. So we're going to go 400 like that, and then so that's good there. I think there's a bit missing, is there? That bit. So that's a little stopper. So obviously you got the knife, you got the stone, and it's right on the edge of the blade at the moment, and then you want to use the whole blade, kind of. You're not going to be able to do it all the time, but you kind of want to use the whole blade. So all that is just a little stopper, so that you don't go too far. You can only tighten things so tight with your fingers though, so you got to kind of be a bit. It's not a perfect science. There are better knife sharpeners, but this is the one I have. So that's it. So 400, and you got a stopper so it can't come out anymore like that and slip off. And then all you do now is just, I mean, it's good to have the handle, but I just go like that too, and that way you can put even pressure. And I just go backwards. Count them if you want to. 3. I only do 10. I think that was 5. No biggie. 7, 8. I don't know. 9. 10. And I'm hardly pushing because it doesn't really need the 400s just to really mow it down quickly. Oops. Should go always the same way, I think. Five, 6, 7, 8. And that'll do. So pull that about. It's just got a spring that holds it. So we'll keep that out for the. Yeah, that's going to need it. So then a 600, and you can't skip stones. I've tried it, and if you do skip a stone, if you go from 400 to 1000, you're going to be all day on 1000. You're better off to adjust your pressure. Put the 600 in that I've got now. Adjust your pressure, and go from there. It's much easier. So I'm not going to push too much because I can see that's cleaned it really nice. You can see it there, and you touch it and there's just nothing. There's no bumps in it, nothing. And the dogs are back in now as well for the 5th or 6th time. 5. Yeah, you can feel it. 6. It's getting smoother. 8, 9, 10. I much prefer going this way. A bit more control with my right hand. So I can feel that's really digging, and then it starts just getting really smooth. You can feel it. So all good. Yep, that's nice. When you go to the finer grit, we'll try it on the 1000, but you can tell by the feel. If it's a bit grippy, just keep going the same way. Once it starts to feel like it's not doing much, like now, I can feel that. Then you can start going a bit faster, because you're not gonna stuff it up. But if you're going with a 400 and then you just dig it in, and you'll stuff the blade up. So I just go nice and slowly with those lower grip ones, and then when you start getting into the higher grip ones, you're going to cause less damage if you do something wrong. And you probably need like 20 once you start going above 1000 and above, just because it's not doing a lot. that's better. I'll go that way rather than swap hands. Just work backwards. But yeah, that feels nice. That feels really smooth. You can probably hear the difference too. So I'm going that way, but I'm also going in one motion, and you got to. Sometimes the bigger knives are a bit harder. The smaller knives you can kind of do it a bit easier. Oops, see I dug in there. So just got to work that, and just take the burrs off, and you can kind of sometimes feel it. So I can feel a burr on that side. You can probably hear it. There's a little one there, but much bigger on that side. You can hear it. So that means the metal's kind of curled around. So if you just give it a really light one with hardly any pressure, yeah, see, here you can hear it's a bit different. Your fingernail just falls off it. It's not actually hitting a ridge. If you look it up on YouTube, people explain it. So I'm going to leave that. I wish I had some paper that I could. I've got this. This is just. It's not A4 paper though, but. It's not. Nah, it's not the right paper. It's not stiff enough. I might just go. So what's in there? We got 1,000. Just for 1,000, we'll just go straight to a 3,000. But like I said, we're not cutting sushi or salmon or anything like that. It's just cutting veggies and stuff. So there's no point going like too crazy like the Japanese knives. Yeah, that's enough. I can feel it. It's really smooth. So I'm not going to bother doing any more. Just even this side up. I have to go this way though. I don't know if there's a difference if you go from back to front and front to back on the other side. Probably is, but as long as you're consistent and it's sharper than what it was when you started, you know you're doing something right, I suppose. Yep. That's good, not hitting anything. And that's it. If you're really keen, you can go put them in order. Definitely not using that one. And then you could use this stone here. These are like a man-made grit, but this is like a natural stone. Just to, you can hear that it's not doing anything, and it's really just to knock the burr off. I don't even know what grit this is because it's come off, but yeah, you can hear it. It's just, it's just sliding around. It's not actually doing anything. So this is when you start getting into the honing and polishing side of things, and not the sharpening. It's already sharp. You're just refining it now, and I just needed to take that edge off. But you can see there, you need to wash the knife because all the metal dust is coming off it. And be careful with them now because they're sharp. So all good. I think we're good. I've gotten these two knives where you can go like that and it shaves your hair. That's how I got them last time. But yeah, we'll see now. I don't think this is going to do it. Oh yeah, it feels pretty good actually. Nah, oh there it goes. There it goes. Yep. So yeah. I'll do that, give that a wash. I'll do that one and I'll let you know how I go. 5 minutes later, all good. One thing I was going to say is this knife's probably as big as you want to go. I think that's a 10-inch knife, so you don't really want to go much more than that because it starts getting floppy at the end. And if you start pushing on this, if you're pushing too hard, you're pushing that down, which is then changing your angle. So you end up with a really shallow angle here, and then you're back to your 22 degrees. That's cutting me there. You're back to your 22 degrees. You can see it there. It's happened. It's like a lot shallower there. I mean, you end up getting a finer, sharper tip than the belly, but you kind of want to keep it consistent. So you don't want to go too much bigger than a 10-inch knife. I think you got to get a different sharpener if you got really big knives. Plus the swing on this, every time you're moving this and you're knocking it, you might change your angle. So it's got its limitations, and I think that knife is about as big as you want to go. It did say, I think it said in here, that's the one, RX-008. I think I've got the 009. The only difference is it comes with different stones. So this kit's probably a bit overkill for what I've got, for what I need it for. The instructions are all there. It tells you all about how to sharpen it properly. There you go. Yeah, it tells you how to do it. Well, it tells you how to set it up, but it's not the clearest. It's not the clearest thing. Yeah. So there's getting your 0 on this bit, and then getting your 18 on your actual sharpening bit. The only thing they don't tell you in there is that you need a shim, and that's the limitations of this. You can kind of see it the way it's you can see it there. It's this one's flatter than this, because this is all your adjustments in this top one to clamp it. So that's different to that, and that's why you need a shim to get the blade back in the middle of the two clamping, because they're not both clamping, if you can understand kind of what I'm saying. You can see this one's a different angle to the top blade, to the top clamp. The bottom clamp is different to the, so that's obviously going to change your outcome over here. So yeah, so you've got to check your angle on both sides like that. You definitely have to check it there and check it there, and you want it within a degree at least. Yeah. If I was to buy this again, which I probably would if this ever broke or lost it or whatever, I'd definitely buy this exact setup again, because it's fine for the knives I use, but I wouldn't get so many stones. They've got cheaper ones. This was about $60. I'll put the link in if I can still find it on AliExpress. I've had this for years, so it might have gone up or down, I'm not sure. But I would only buy, if it's just general purpose kitchen stuff, definitely get a 400, because that the only reason this took me 5 minutes to do is I've already done it, and it's already got a 23 odd degree bevel on it. If you've got new knives, the first time I did this, it took me about half an hour, 45 minutes each knife, and I went through the whole thing. Not these final, I didn't do leather and all that stuff, but it just took a lot longer because I really had to get that edge back to 22 degrees, because that's where I keep them at. But once you've got that edge at 22, and then it's a bit dinged up after 6 months, it's for 5 minutes to just knock it down with the 400, you know, with hardly any pressure. You're just guiding it, let it skate over and take the ripples out of it, and then work your way up to a 3000. Oh, sorry, 3000. Yeah, I think it was a 3000. 400. Yeah, 3000 in the silver ones, and then I went to the one that's in there. Here it is. And I can't tell you what this one is. I think it's 5,000, 5 or 6,000, but it's not written on here anymore. I should have really written it on this side. But if I look up the kit, I'll know what it is, and that's why they're in a different lacquey band, because I don't use them. I only take it as far as the 3000, and then whatever this black one is, and that's plenty. That's all you need. You can leave the stone, is probably better to put it in water for about half an hour before you use it, but these silver ones aren't necessary to soak them because they're a synthetic grit, so there's no need for that. But the natural stone, you should soak them in water. They work a bit better. You can even put water here if you want to and do it, and all it does is carry the dirt away, but I just wipe it every now and again, because you want to feel for that bevel anyway. So yeah, that's clean, so that's good. If you've got a steel, like the round thing that you have in your kitchen knife block, you can do that now, just very lightly, just in case there is a little bevel. You can do that just to clean the bevel off. But don't go too hard and don't do it for too long, because then you're going to change your angle, because you can never guess 22 degrees. That's why I like this. It's all a consistent known quantity here. So yeah, but that's all I do, and it's been working for a while. I've done my old man's knives, and same thing, half an hour a knife, because he just did it with whatever sharpener he had. Now he just brings them up every 6 months, a year, whatever, when he notices them getting a bit blunt. Cutting a tomato or whatever, and it's starting to bounce off the tomato, he'll bring them up and just touch them up on this, or I'll bring this down to him, and he borrows it for a week or whatever and uses it, and Yeah, loves it. So all good. So yeah, share it around with the family, your friends. I got into it when I started watching a show called Forged and Fire on TV, where these blacksmiths make a knife from scratch. You know, they give them a leaf spring off a car or something like that, and they pound it out and heat it up and do whatever, and then sharpen it. And it was pretty cool to see. And that's when I started thinking about sharpening our knives. And you don't realise how dull your knives are until you've actually got one nice and sharp. And it's a lot safer because you put zero pressure and it goes, straight through whatever you're cutting. Whereas when they start going blunt, if you slip, you've got so much pressure behind you. That's when you cut your finger off or something. So yeah, when they're sharp, you got zero effort, and you just show the knife to the thing and go straight through. So a lot safer. So and good to do yourself. Easy job to do yourself. So cheers for watching. Catch you next time.